Senate President Tom Tavares Finson moved from his chief role as chairman of the Senate proceedings and used his high office to drive home an appeal to the private sector to do more in relation to the use of plastics.
Anybody who see me in a supermarket from now on without my tote bag, if you can identify me taking a plastic bag in the supermarket, I will pay your grocery bill. No, I don't, and I really, it really, and what is happening, what I see happening in the world. You have some country all over the world that normally follow back at Jamaica, and they are taking some steps towards banning the use of these plastics. It is in our interest, it's in the national interest for us to move to ban the use of these products. The private sector must play its part. The government has declared an intention. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to vent this morning.
Government Senator Don Webby and CEO of Grace Kennedy, who agreed with the sentiments, gave an update to the success of his company's efforts in this regard.
We have started a program of using recycled bags, and it has been such a tremendous success from the consumers that we have to be reordering basically on a weekly basis to keep up the demand. So at the point that I'm making, it's like a tote bag, and you pay something for it and you carry it back. And it has been a tremendous success, especially at Barbican Hideout. You would have seen it. So I think what we need to do is to encourage those that are doing it already, and for those that are not, we encourage it. Because the truth is, it's a win-win-win, as you are saying, for the country, for the consumer, and for business. Because the truth is, the recycled bags actually work out cheaper than the plastic bags.
Opposition Senator Sophia Fraser-Binns questioned whether or not the environmental levy was being used to control the pollution of our waters.
And as we contemplate what we can do, we have to also look at what we have been doing and how we can right some of those things. One of the things that comes to mind easily is, for example, the environmental levy. We have to question, are we using the levy for the purpose for which it was intended? And how can we use something like the environmental levy to further enhance the work and to protect the environment through public education, through more recycling projects? And so I called on all stakeholders, the government, the private sector today, as we stop and contemplate our own existence, our future, and that of our children, that we take every step that we can to correct this injustice, because it isn't an injustice to the environment.
Deputy Senate President Obin Hill noted that while we look at the ocean, there is a major problem on land.
Across the world, and including in Jamaica, we have billions of tons of waste, largely plastic, in landfills. We're not sure where we're going to put it in, much more any further. So apart from the ocean, an even bigger problem rests on land. And so I'm pleased, Mr. President, to note that as a man of high standing, and not just somebody who is normally seen as a homemaker, has made the public decision to carry his tote bag to the supermarket.
Government Senator Matthew Samuda stated that 8 million tons of plastics enter the ocean every year, and only 10% of single-use plastic is caught in the recycling efforts worldwide.
There is a plastic island developing in the Pacific, but more recently, and I think for us to understand, there's also now a plastic island developing in the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Honduras, Mr. President. And the fact is, there is many types of tourism, sports tourism, ecotourism, but there is no garbage tourism, Mr. President. There is no fillet plastic bottle. So we are literally drowning the hopes and dreams of our fishermen. We are kicking ourselves in the foot with our tourism product, and we are literally making our country a worse place for our children if we continue the way we are going with plastic bottles. I am in firm agreement that the steps to be taken with single-use plastic must extend to things like straws. They are low-hanging fruit that we can easily have gains with. And Mr. President, as I close, I just encourage all Jamaicans to themselves become environmentalists. Let us be a nation of environmentalists. Let us care for the country, for our children and for our grandchildren so that it is there.